And in sports, it is a celebration of life as Diego Maradona's coffin arrived in an ambulance at the presidential palace in Bernouillet for a period of lying in state in a three-day spectacle of national mourning in Argentina. Thousands of people gathered to pay their last respect to the Argentine football legend who died from a cardiac arrest on Wednesday. The world was plunged into grief by the death of one of the greatest football legends of all time and the hero of the World Cup in 1986 when Argentina lifted the trophy. Napoli president has also said that the club is set to rename its stadium after the legend. Well, let's now join Ibrahim Saliu, a sports analyst, to discuss this further. Ibrahim, thank you very much for joining us on News Now. Now, it must be a grieving period for the sports world, especially the football family, isn't it?
It is. We are all devastated by the loss of Diego Maradona. But I guess we saw it coming because in 2004, remember that he had surgery and the whole world held its breath. We were praying that he will live. So thank God that he at least got to 60 years. But let's say that Diego Maradona transcended sport. He transcended football. He was an activist. He called for good governance in Argentina and South America. He had a tattoo of Che Guevara on his shoulder. He met with Fidel Castro. He has had some things that he said about the United States of America and also said things about Barack Obama, former president of the United States of America. So he was more than just a football and a sports legend. He was somebody that taught so many people all over the world, and he will be greatly missed.
And the field of play now, what exactly will Diego Maradona be remembered for?
Many things, but the one that he will be most remembered for was winning the 1986 World Cup single-handedly. Nobody in the history of football dominated a World Cup the way Maradona dominated the 1986 World Cup. Not even the greatest of them all, Edson Arantes do Nascimento, Pelé, who won 3 World Cups. Nobody dominated a World Cup like Maradona did in 1986. This guy was involved in 10 goals that Argentina scored. Argentina scored 14 goals in that World Cup. Maradona was involved in 10 of those goals. He scored 5 of them, the second highest after Gary Lineker, who got 6 goals. And then in the assists, he led. He got 5 assists in that World Cup. So without Maradona, there was no way Argentina would have won that World Cup. So we will always remember him for that. And of course, you remember that match against England in the quarterfinal. He scored the most infamous goal in the history of the World Cup when he scored with his hand, and he called it a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. That was where that expression, hand of God, came. And then a few seconds later, 4 minutes later, he scored the greatest goal in the history of the World Cup, dribbled past 5 English players and then beat the goalkeeper Peter Shilton and scored. So he will always be remembered for the 1986 World Cup. And of course, what he did for Napoli, legend in Napoli. You just said that they are going to rename their stadium after Diego Maradona. He was just an incredibly gifted footballer.
All right, so I'll just take you to that old argument now as we close. So you're of the opinion that Maradona is the best talent that ever graced the beautiful game of football?
Well, personally, I consider Edson Arantes do Nascimento, Pelé, who won 3 World Cups. No human being has ever won the World Cup 3 times. Pelé won it 3 times. First, as a 17-year-old in 1958, where he scored 6 goals. That's amazing. And then finally in 1970 as a 29-year-old. So for me, Pelé will always be the greatest. But if we are talking about just raw skill, the talent, just sheer display of soccer artistry, then I don't think anybody comes close to Maradona. Not even Lionel Messi, not Cristiano Ronaldo. Even they themselves consider Maradona greater than themselves.
Oh, very well said there. Ibrahim Saliu, sports analyst, we thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on News Now.